well. I know the series wasn't great. It was only a split. I know the road trip wasn't fantastic. It was only a split at 5-5. However, there continue to be, especially individually, some signs that guys are really starting to get going. Fernando Tatis Jr. had 2 hits, a double, 3 runs scored in this game. Luis Arraez had another big day, 3 hits, a couple of runs scored, and an RBI. We told you about Manny, 4 hits, 2 doubles, and 3 RBIs. Jackson Merrill had a base hit late, did have 2 RBIs in this game. Xander Bogaerts had a solo home run. Gavin Sheets had a base hit. Jake Cronenworth had 2 hits. Jose Iglesias played great defense today. My goodness, also had a base hit. So a lot to like about this game offensively. In fact, you look at what the Padres did in the 4 games of this series, and obviously 2 of the games didn't go their way. One of them really frustrating where, well, I should say both losses really frustrating. One where they had 11 hits and did not score a run. The other where they had 7 runs on 13 hits and didn't win the game. But you look at it, if you want to pull away a real offensive bright spot from this series, 4 games of this series, Padres had 49 hits over the course of the 4 games. Again, I know you want to win every game. You only split this series. You feel like with the way the first couple of games went, you should have been able to probably take at least one, if not both of those games. This series was not all that far away from being a sweep for the Padres. Had things gone a little bit differently in the opening 2 games of this set. However, 49 hits across 4 games. So there was a lot to like offensively in this series, and especially what Manny did, what Arraez did, what Fernando did at times. Bogaerts continues to swing the bat well. So you hope, fingers crossed, that the Padres can bring this momentum offensively, what we saw today and what we saw at times during this series, into the homestand against a New York Mets team that enters today winning 6 in a row. Obviously, Cardinals come to town next weekend. And from here on out, as we get to late July and into the month of August, into the trade deadline on Thursday, every game is going to get magnified. And you hope the Padres, especially from an offensive standpoint, can carry the momentum of a 9-run, 16-hit performance into the series back at home starting tomorrow. When we come back, a full game recap, all the radio highlights. We'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up a little bit later as well. Final score again in this series finale in St. Louis as the Padres wrap up this 10-game trip. The Padres 9 and the Cardinals 2. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. A happy Sunday for the Padres as they beat the St. Louis Cardinals 9-2. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up a little bit later. We'll get to your phone calls a little bit later as well at 833-288-0973. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our daily awards, and much, much more. But first, let's recap this one from start to finish, tell you how it went down in the Lou.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Well, as you love to see, the Padres got right to work against Cardinals starter Michael McGreevy in the top of the first inning. Fernando Tatis Jr. drew a leadoff walk. Luis Arraez singled. That sent Fernando to third base. That set the table for Manny Machado.
2-0 pitch. Manny smacks it into right center. That's down to the base hit. Fernando will come in to score. Arraez going to go first to third. Machado chugging for two. Here comes the throw from Walker. It is off target. Hits Manny. Trickles behind second. Arraez now will come in and score. Great base running and awareness by Luis Arraez. And great hustle by Machado, who goes into second. And the Padres have a 2-0 lead with nobody out here in the first.
It was a double and an error. 1 RBI for Manny. Either way, Padres getting 2 runs in the top of the first inning. Padres still led 2-0. Going to the third, Fernando Tatis Jr. started the inning with a double. Manny Machado singled to get Tatis to third base. Jackson Merrill brought Tatis home with a ground out. That made it 3-0. Padres then pounced on McGreevy again in the top of the fourth inning. Gavin Sheets and Jake Cronenworth hit back-to-back singles to start the frame. There were runners on first and third for Elias Diaz.
Kind of impact.
Here's a bunt back towards the mound. Squeeze play fielded by McGreevy. Toss home. And the ball came out of Page's glove as a sheet slides in safely. And for the second straight day, the Padres execute a squeeze bunt. They now lead it 4-0.
Now, if you love a well-executed safety squeeze, you love these 2025 Padres. They've done this a lot now. Diaz getting it down. The Padres continuing to score. It was a 4-0 San Diego lead. Padres, though, far from done. Later in that fourth inning, there were still 2 on base for Luis Arraez.
1-2, reach for, grounded the other way. Arenado dives, can't get it. Rounding third, Cronenworth on his way. Burleson comes up throwing and not in time at the plate. Jake slides in feet first. RBI single, Luis Arraez, his second hit of the day, and the Padre lead is 5-0.
Padres weren't done. Manny Machado was next.
First 3 games. Pitch here is hit on one bounce off the glove of Arenado. Trickles into foul ground. 2 more runs going to score as both Diaz and Arraez check in. Machado ends up at second base with his third hit of the day, and the Padres lead it 7-0.
So Manny and the Padres bats were cooking a 7-0 lead. The other really good story in this game was Stephen Kolek. He was great. 5 scoreless innings to begin the day. He did give up a walk and a 2-run home run to Alec Burleson in the 6th inning. That made it 7-2. However, the Padres answered in the top of the 7th inning. It was the X-Man.
Bogarts in the air to deep left. Burleson at the wall. This one gonna go. Xander Bogaerts with his 7th of the year. And a leadoff homer here in the 7th inning to extend the lead. It's 8-2.
The 7th home run of the season for Xander. Like Jesse said, it now an 8-2 Padre lead. Jackson Merrill would drive in another run in the 8th inning to make it 9-2. The bullpen for the Padres did the rest after Kolek went 6 strong innings, gave up just the 2 runs. David Morgan got a couple of outs. Wandy Peralta got a couple of outs. And Ron Marinaccio making his Padre debut when an inning and 2/3 scoreless in the 8th and the 9th. And that was the story in this one. Final score, Padres 9 and the Cardinals 2. Final totals for the Padres: 9 runs, 16 hits, no errors for St. Louis, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Padres improved to 57-49. That's how they'll head home to San Diego. Cardinals, who had cut their deficit out of the final wild card to a 1.5 games after the win on Friday. Well, guess what? They lose the final 2 games of this series, and they pick up no ground against the Padres in the wild card race. So they're back to 3.5 out at 54-53 on the season. A very well-deserved win today for Stephen Kolek, who picks up his 4th win of the year. He was great. And McGreevy, the rookie right-hander for the Cardinals, he drops to 2-2 on the year. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Much more to do as the Padres cruise. How about that? It's been a rarity this season. Padres have a lot of wins. They do not have a lot of wins like the one they got today, where it was sort of easy and just nice to watch. You can sit back and relax and enjoy it. Padres win it 9-2 in St. Louis today. We hear from the Padre manager when we return. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. As always, our post-game coverage brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Great to have you with us on this Sunday. Padres wrap up this long and windy 10-game trip, 5-5 with a 9-2 win against the Cardinals here today. Padres now return home for a 6-game homestand beginning tomorrow against the New York Mets. They'll finally have their first off day of the second half on Thursday. Then these Cards come to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll talk more about the upcoming homestand coming up a little bit later. We'll also take your phone calls in a little bit. 833-288-0973. Again, the phone number 833-288-0973. Padres offense great in this game, and really this series, I know they split it, but there was a lot to like about the Padres offense in this series. They had that big game on Thursday. They lost it. Yu Darvish struggled. They had a weird game on Friday. Well, and look, we talked about it Friday. You can have 11 hits. You can have 9 at-bats with runners in scoring position. If you get shut out, you get shut out. However, I did say at the time, silver lining was you hope they could pull something away from having 11 hits, just like you hope they could pull something away from having 13 hits and a loss the day before. Then yesterday, offense doesn't do a whole lot, but they found a way to win it. And today was a rare kind of game for the 2025 Padres. It was easy. They grabbed an early lead, quite frankly. even though they were facing a young starting pitcher in Michael McGreevy, who's been solid, they did what you believe the Padres are capable of doing against a young starting pitcher, and that's beating him up early. They jumped right on him in the first inning. 3 batters in, it was a 2-0 game. They got 1 in the third. They had another big inning against them in the 4th inning. Xander Bogaerts tacks on the home run later in the game. They get another run later in the game, but just a great day for the top of the lineup. Tatis 2 hits, Arise 3 hits. He continues to swing the bat really well. Manny 4 hits. He had a terrific series. Merrill a hit, Bogaerts a home run, Sheets a hit, Cronenworth had 2, Iglesias, great defense. He had a hit as well. So offensively, a lot to like. And individually, we went over some of the guys, and we talked about it in one of our keys to the game, was keeping the guys who are rolling, well, keeping them rolling. You looked at Luis, now a 10-game hitting streak. He's batting well over 300 in that span, or just below 400 in that span. Jackson Merrill now is a 7-game hitting streak. Manny has multiple hits in 5 consecutive games. So would you have liked better than a split in this series in St. Louis against a Cardinals team that had really struggled coming in? Of course. However, you do see some good signs here by the offense individually, and you hope that's a sign of things to come. We'll see, but great series for Manny. Great day for the Padres offense as they beat the Cardinals 9-2. Another aspect of this game that we haven't talked about a ton, and again, we'll hear from Mike Shildt here in a second, is Stephen Kolek. Great again. I mean, what more can you say about Kolek? Did his job, was staked to an early lead and goes 6 innings, 2 runs. He basically made 2 mistakes. He was through 5 scoreless innings in what was a 7-0 game. In the 6th inning, he walks the leadoff man, gives up a home run. That was it. I mean, that was the only blemish on the day for Stephen Kolek. Again, 6 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, struck out 2, walked 3. We know he's not going to strike out a ton of guys, but he's been really, really, really solid. And now, out of the All-Star break, as you continue to wonder if a guy like Kolek can keep doing what he's doing, his first start out of the break in Miami, 5 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs given up, 1 out, short of a quality start by the definition. And here today, a quality outing, 6 innings, 2 runs. So Kolek continues to be really, really solid. Great to see. And the Padres cruise to a 9-2 win in St. Louis. With all that in mind, let's go back to Busch Stadium and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Mike, you ended this trip, how you started it? You guys were hitting it. What did you make of the entirety of the trip?
Listen, every win, we love our guys and we appreciate how they go about it. And, we're going to celebrate every win, but today was a big time character win. Long road trip, 2 hot cities, last day of the trip, conditions are what they are, but our guys absolutely showed the mental toughness that's required to be a championship caliber club. It was a very impressive mental toughness, demonstrate your will to go perform and compete, and then execute. And I thought we did exactly that today. The bats were relentless, top of the lineup again, quality of bats. Manny 4-hit game, 11 hits, a record for him in a 4-game series. Just relentless at bats, adding on 2-out hits. Again, Manny set an example what we want to see with runners in scoring position, right approach. But yeah, just a real team win today, and team win including the staff. I mean, guys were hydrated, guys had energy, guys are taking care of themselves off the field, which speaks to their dedication to the team, which I got a lot of admiration for. But our training staff and our strength and conditioning staff do a tremendous job of keeping these guys hydrated and ready to go and be ready to be able to go compete. So complete organizational team win today.
Like you mentioned, mental part of this game. How big is the mental part of baseball given the long season that you guys go through?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've talked about this a lot. The physical ability is real. We have a lot of physical ability, but physical ability is Major League Baseball. I mean, the skill set is what gets you here. Your mental ability to consistently bring the approach regardless of circumstances is what separates you, to use your ability. And our guys today showed up and really didn't give in anything, just competed their tails off, and it really is a separator. And so I'm really proud of the group. I love them.
I bet you couldn't ask for much more from Steven today. I'm just wondering, like, your take on what you've gotten from him, from Vasquez, to an extent Berger, and then how important that has been for your rotation. Just had some struggles with injuries this year.
It's been critical. Yeah, it's been key. Colwick, Vasquez, Berger, those guys have really stepped up, pitched well for us. Glad to be in the position we're in. Steven able to go out, get to the sixth a day, do a really nice job, get a lead, hold him right there. The walk got him a little bit, put him in a compromised position a little bit with Burleson, and he got him. But Colwick's fantastic. He's throwing strikes and around the plate and, keeping guys on the ground when tells you his stuff is good. And, play good defense too. Iglesias, 2 really nice plays. The one play was just straight schoolyard, just figuring out a way. Crony, sneaky nice play to grab it. And, could look at it, celebrate Iglesias' 10,000th inning in the big leagues. That's quite an accomplishment. So Colwick's been tremendous for us, and the bullpen came in. Wandy, Morgan, and Marnaccio came in, did their job through strikes, and just a good baseball game all the way around. And, one last comment is the base running. Could have been easy, like, hey, I'm just going to take it easy on the bases. And our base run was on point all road trip, back to Ace's initial question. On point all series and on point today. The effort level was outstanding, but also the mental IQ that this group has was really good. Made a lot of good decisions on the bases.
I know he's been your most consistent player, but Manny has a penchant for getting hot, and he gets hot at the right times.
Yes.
How important is this? Like, this 5-game streak here is.
Yeah, Manny's just, the consistency is, like you said, he's been consistently our guy. And so it's really, so he's not going to get 4 hits every night, but he's going to take quality at bats consistently. So I just see him as being really good, not necessarily hot, just a really good player with the right approach and just a beautiful stroke and just a winning player.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt following this 9-2 win for the Padres against the St. Louis Cardinals. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios. You heard the 5-game stretch there mentioned regarding Manny Machado. Here's what Manny did in the final 5 games of this road trip, going back to the series finale in Miami. He was 13 for 21, 4 doubles, a home run, 6 RBIs, 5 runs scored. He was hit twice. That is a 1604 OPS, a 952 slug, and a 652 average in the 5 games. So Manny, again, multiple hits in 5 consecutive games. He's had a terrific little run here on the road. And look, we know with Manny, when he gets hot, he tends to get really, really hot. And there's no telling necessarily when he's going to cool down. I mean, we've seen Manny go on runs where he is hot for months at a time. So you hope it's a sign of things to come for Manny, who, by the way, as we know, is having a terrific season. Once he had the 4th hit today, I went and looked because I needed a reminder of what his average is, because it's been so high for Manny. And I mean, it's been a career high average kind of season. And Manny, after today, guess where his batting average is? After the 4 hits, he's at 300. This is late July. I mean, Manny obviously has hit for a good average his whole career, but he hasn't been a 300 hitter. He's hitting 300. We're in late July. I mean, Manny's got a real opportunity this season to, I don't know that he's going to hit over 300. He could, but could he hit over 285? Could he hit over 290? I mean, that's a really nice season in that department for Manny Machado. I mean, keep in mind, Manny's overall numbers right now, to give you an idea of what kind of year he's had. And again, the batting average is what you really come away very, very impressed with. He's hitting 300 on the year. He's got 19 home runs now, 66 RBIs, a 360 on base. His OPS is at 866. It continues to creep up right around where it usually is. You look at 2022 when he had that unbelievable year, it was 897. Okay, it's not quite as high as that, but it's higher than it was a year ago at 797. It's higher than it was in 2023 at 781. 866 for Manny in the OPS. He's got 8 stolen bases, so he's run a little bit. I mean, Manny's putting together a really, really good year. And again, you look at the highest that Manny has hit in a season of over 100 games in his career. Now, 2022, that great year, he hit 298. 2018, he hit 297 between the Orioles and the Dodgers. So, look, he does have a track record of being able to get up into those 290s. You just wonder where it could go for Manny. He's hitting 300 in late July. So, and again, he's 6 years older now. And he's having a really good year. So he's been great as of late, and just a great stretch to end this road trip for Manny Machado, no doubt about it. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll talk about the Padres bullpen. We'll talk about the outstanding defense that Jose Iglesias played today. I mean, Jose Iglesias just showing off in today's game, playing shortstop defensively. We'll get to your phone calls as well, 833-288-0973. So if you're on hold, just hang on a little bit longer, 833-288-0973. Final score on this Sunday, Padres 9 and the Cardinals 2. Our postgame coverage continues after these words.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score, the Padres 9 and the Cardinals 2. Padres improved to 57-49 on the season. Cardinals dropped to 54-53. We'll get to some of our daily awards here in a second. Squeeze in a couple of phone calls, 833-288-0973. Phone number to dial, as always. We'll also take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up and a little bit our play of the game, and get you ready for this upcoming 6-game homestand beginning tomorrow at Petco Park against the New York Mets. Military Sunday on the Padres Radio Network is presented by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, no cost maintenance standard, so you get peace of mind standard. Oh, the Padres had good work out of their bullpen today. Let's tell you about our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
And 2-2 to JC, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Marinaccio comes out of the pen and ends the inning, leaving Burleson at second base.
Our relief pitcher of the game, the guy making his Padres debut today, Ron Marinaccio, who goes an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Really nice debut in the brown and gold for Marinaccio. That included coming in with a runner on second base in the 8th inning, got a pop out, a strikeout. So, hey, wasn't exactly the highest leverage of situations with the Padres up by a lot. But, hey, Marinaccio comes in, debut with the brand new team, only the second organization or major league team he's been with. He spent a few years with the Yankees, but did a nice job. Inning and 2/3 scoreless, made sure he put this game away with 5 outs. So Ron Marinaccio, congratulations on his Padres debut after the Padres acquired him in the offseason. He was a name we talked about quite a bit at spring training. We thought there was a chance that Ron could make the Padres bullpen. Didn't work out that way, but did a good job today in his Padres debut, and we'll see what Ron Marinaccio continues to do out of the Padres bullpen. Nice job by everybody in that Padres pen today. Marinaccio, inning and 2/3 scoreless. Peralta got 2 outs. Morgan got 2 outs, and that was after Stephen Kolek went 6 innings, gave up just 2 runs in the win for Kolek today. Great defense by Jose Iglesias today. Quite frankly, there were a few different plays we could have picked for this, but there was one sparkling defensive play by Jose Iglesias in this one. Let's hear our catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
1-1 is chopped over the mound. It'll be Iglesias behind second.
Wow.
And a behind the back flip to Cronenworth to force Walker and get the lead runner. No look glove flip behind the back for Iglesias, and 1 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, fancy play by Jose Iglesias behind the back. Really good pickup by Jake Cronenworth at second base, too. Had to go down barehanded off the dirt, but Iglesias going behind his back, glove flip to get the force out at second base. He was great today. He also made a great play in the hole, and he just so smooth. Jose Iglesias on the left side of that infield, or when he plays the right side, he can play second base really nicely as well. Great play by Jose, and that was today's catch of the game. All right, let's go to the phones. 833-288-0973. Phone number to call, 833-288-0973. The phone number to dial if you want to get involved. Let's begin things on the phones after this 9-2 win with Davis calling in from San Diego. Davis, you're on the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Go ahead.
What's up, Sammy?
Hey.
I just wanted to talk about Shildt. I'm really happy because past couple of games, I feel like we should have played more small ball, and past couple of games, I feel like we've been doing that. The bottom lineup, just safety squeezes and just turning the lineup over to the big 4 and just getting it done overall. And I feel like that's the key to this offense when Maldonado and those guys aren't really the most productive offensive players. So it's good to flip it over to like Tatis.
Yeah, Davis, they did a good job, the bottom third of the lineup the last couple of days. And you're right, the safety squeeze yesterday by Bryce Johnson gave him a 2-1 lead. He had the one today by Diaz, made it 4-0. We've seen on this road trip, the Padres go to the squeeze play with the bottom of that order quite a bit. Look, if you like small ball and squeeze plays, you like what the Padres did at times on this road trip. I mean, they went to it a lot with that bottom third of the order. And Bryce Johnson had another hit today when he came in the game late. Johnson had a big day yesterday. Bryce Johnson, we talked about it on the post game yesterday, bottom of the lineup, single, that led to a run scoring. Safety squeeze, double run scored for the insurance run in the 9th inning. He did a nice job in this series. And you're right, the bottom of the lineup last 2 days was productive, Davis, and they've executed well on those safety squeeze opportunities. I love it. I love it with the bottom of the lineup. I mean, it is a really, really hard play to defend If you get down a good bunt in that spot, it's a really hard play to defend. And considering the struggles for the bottom third of the lineup and who's down there, hey, you like it. You like the creativity by Mike Shildt and the Padres offense. Let's go to Mitch in New Jersey. Hi, Mitch. You're on the Padres radio network.
I understand. Thanks for taking my call. Nice to see that their offense is picking up. I wish we had made a trade for Josh Naylor. He was there for the taking.
Yeah.
Somehow he can. I wish Machado would go for home runs more. I mean, he's a alley, but really want to go for home runs. He could get hit more home runs. And it's a shame he has never hit 40.
Yeah, I guess, Mitch. I mean, I guess it's a surprise, and thanks for the phone call. I guess it's a surprise he's never hit 40 in his career. His career high is 37. I mean, you know what, Mitch? Maybe you're onto something. I don't know what Manny would say to that if you were to go to Manny and say, hey, could you hit more home runs if you were trying to? I'd actually be interested to hear Manny respond to that and get his perspective on that, because he's a really great overall hitter, right? He hits to all fields. I mean, the guy's racked up 2,000 hits. He might be on the way to 3,000 one day. He is a great hitter, not just power hitter, but he's obviously a great hitter who has a lot of power. Manny, here's the thing, Mitch. He's never had 40 home runs, but these are the home run numbers throughout his career. I'm going just most home runs down in his career. 37, 37, 35, 33, 32, 32, 30. He's got 7 seasons, and he might have 8 after this year where he's had 30 or more home runs. So, yeah, he doesn't get to 40, but the magic of Manny, and this is the way you become one of the best third basemen of all time, and maybe you're going to have 500 home runs, 3,000 hits when all this is said and done. The magic of Manny is that you can pencil in. The average fluctuates a little bit, although he's at 300 right now. You can pencil in almost 30 home runs and about 100 or more RBIs every year. Go look at his baseball reference page, the back of his baseball card. That is what makes Manny Machado. He is incredibly consistent with his durability and his production when you look at the back of the baseball card. No matter how he starts, think about the way he started his season last year, how rough that first half was. He still ended up hitting 275, 29 home runs, 105 RBIs after a first half that was rough by Manny Machado standards. That is the magic of Manny. So I don't know if he was a different type of hitter or really trying to. Could he get to 40 one day? Maybe. I'd be interested to see what he thinks about it. But I think for Manny, anywhere over 30 to me is just fine. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, squeeze in another phone call or two, play the game, wrap things up, get you ready for the upcoming homestand beginning tomorrow against the Mets. Much, much more to do as the Padres win it 9-2 on this Sunday to salvage the final 2 games of this series in St. Louis. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue to wrap this one up. Final score, Padres 9 and the Cardinals 2. Before we get to more of your phone calls here and a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game, preview tomorrow's game, let's quickly pause for station ID on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, this is Dylan Cease. You're listening to Padres Baseball on the Padres Radio Network.
And Odyssey Sports Station.
Padres win it on this Sunday 9-2. They split this 4-game series in St. Louis, and they go 5-5 on this 10-game trip to DC, Miami, and the Lou. Let's squeeze in one more phone call here before we get to the out-of-town scoreboard and the rest of what we have to do on our post-game coverage. Let's go to Jeff calling in. Hi, Jeff. You're on the Padres Radio Network with Sam Levitt. Go ahead.
Hi, thanks. Listen, I called. I want to ask an outside the lines question about interleague, but I want to mention something about 40 home runs, how unimportant it is. It's clutch hitting and RBIs. Sam Musial never hit 40. Ted Williams only hit 40 one time.
Yeah.
Clemente and Kaline never hit 30, and the great Mickey Mantle only hit 40 4 times. And he only hit 100 RBIs or more 4 times, surprisingly. Look it up. But I'm glad to see Manny hitting, and I'm glad to see Bogarts getting it together and hitting. But I want to ask a question about interleague, kind of off the wall, but this is the 29th year. I love interleague, but our natural rivals geographically are the Mariners, and they never have been. And we're going to be closer to the A's when they move to L.A. or to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And San Francisco, the Giants are going to be a lot closer to Seattle for traveling. And I'm just wondering what the chances are that they might change our rival, our competitor, to the A's. Montreal went from Toronto to the Orioles when they moved to Washington. You think there's any chance of that?
Yeah, Jeff, a good question. I don't know. It's a good point that when the A's do move to Vegas, that it'll be a whole lot closer to Vegas than the Padres are to Seattle. It's an interesting point. I don't know, to be honest with you, but I would assume it's perhaps a possibility. Look, we'll see what the schedule looks like by then as well. There's been a lot of changes to the schedule the last few years, right? With the balanced schedule, everybody plays everybody now. There are far less divisional games. The schedule in general, I think, still needs tweaks. I mean, the more people I talk to, the more people, and I don't know about a fan perspective, but I'm talking about people in the game. There's some disdain for the new schedule. And I think from a travel standpoint, it's hard. I also think it's really, I almost wonder if they swung a little too far to the balanced end of it, because, the idea that you play now, I mean, look at the Padres schedule this year with the Dodgers, for instance. Let's just take that one example. They play the Dodgers 2 series within 10 days and then don't see them for months and play 2 series within 10 days. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. To me, there's got to be a little bit more divisional play. To me, and just the nature of the schedule, and the Padres aren't alone in that. There are a lot of examples of this where you've got divisional rivals, playing each other basically for a span of a week and a half, then they don't see each other for months, and then a week and a half, and that's it. It just doesn't feel right to me. I don't mind the balanced schedule, but that's a bigger conversation on the schedule in general. To your question on whether the A's would become their natural interleague rival, maybe. I don't know. It would, to your point, it would make sense. I'd also have to think who would be the A's natural, like who are the other teams that are kind of close to Vegas. I guess Arizona is, just thinking, I'm not even looking at a map right now. I guess Phoenix is close. Phoenix, I guess Texas, the teams in Texas would be the next. I mean, Arizona would stand out to me. And I'm trying to think, who did the Diamondbacks have a interleague natural rivalry? I don't know. Anyway, Arizona would stand out. And certainly the Padres are closer to Seattle than Arizona. So I don't know. I kind of think maybe Arizona would take that. I mean, I'm not worrying about it right now, but fair question, Jeff. I don't have a great answer for you, but I'll think on it and I'll do some digging to see if I can get you a better answer if you call in next time. Final score, Padres 9 and the Cardinals 2. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We take a look at all the scores from around the major leagues. We have one game going on right now. Angels ahead of the Mariners 4-1 in Anaheim in the 7th inning. Everything else has gone final. Pirates beat the Diamondbacks 6-0 in Pittsburgh today. Paul Skeens, 9 strikeouts and 6 scoreless innings. Orioles beat the Rockies 5-1. Red Sox beat the Dodgers 4-3 at Fenway. Alex Bregman hit a home run in that game for the Red Sox. The Yankees bounced back. They beat the Phillies, salvaged that series finale in the Bronx 4-3 over the Phillies. Reds beat the Rays 2-1. Reds getting 2 runs in the first inning to make it stand up. Tigers beat the Blue Jays 10-4 in Detroit. Tigers snapping a 6-game losing skid. Cubs beat the White Sox 5-4 in Chicago. Royals beat the Guardians 4-1 in Kansas City. Brewers beat the Marlins 3-2 in Milwaukee in walk-off fashion. That game between the Brewers and Marlins, it ended on a Blake Perkins RBI base hit in the bottom half of the 9th inning. So the Brew Crew, they continue to play well. They win it 3-2 against Miami today in Milwaukee. A's beat the Astros 7-1. How about the A's? They sweep the Astros in Houston. How about that for the A's? Nationals beat the Twins 7-2 in Minnesota. Rangers beat the Braves 8-1 in Arlington. And we have one game yet to begin. We've got the Mets and the Giants in San Francisco at 4 p.m. So that one begins in a little less than an hour. Kodai Senga on the mound for the Mets and Matt Gage on the mound for the San Francisco Giants. And that's a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. And speaking of the Mets, they will, after today's game in San Francisco, come on down to San Diego and begin a series against the Padres tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Padres win it 9-2 against the Cardinals on this Sunday. Let's hear our play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Cool pitch. Manny smacks it into right center. That's down to the base hit. Fernando will come in to score. Rise going to go first to third. Machado chugging for 2. Here comes the throw from Walker. It is off target. Hits Manny. Trickles behind second. Rise now will come in and score. Great base running and awareness by Luis Rise. And great hustle by Machado, who goes into second. And the Padres have a 2-0 lead with nobody out here in the first.
Manny Machado with that double and 2-run scoring, including the error in center field by Scott. 2 runs come in. Padres took a 2-0 lead, and quite frankly, they would never look back in this ball game. They got 2 in the first inning, 1 in the third, 4 in the 4th inning, and would jump out to a 7-0 lead in this one. So it really felt like that base hit against the young right-hander Michael McGreevy sort of set the tone early in this one. Padres getting 2 runs, the miscue allowing for another run to score. That is today's play of the game, the first of 4 hits on the day for Manny Machado. All right, taking a look ahead to tomorrow's game, the series opener between the Padres and the New York Mets. Opening game of a 6-game homestand. Padres play the Mets tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, a day off Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. First pitch tomorrow at Petco Park at 6:40. Our pregame coverage from inside the Western Metal Building will begin at 5:40. Pitching matchup tomorrow, on mound for the Mets, right-hander Frankie Montas, and on the mound for the Padres, right-hander Dylan Cease. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and catch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well in video form. Taking a look at the final totals today in this series finale. Padres split this series against the Cardinals. They go 5-5 on this road trip to DC, Miami, and St. Louis. For the Padres today, 9 runs, 16 hits, no errors. They left on 9. For the Cardinals, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. They left on 7. Winning pitcher Stephen Kolek, who improves to 4-5. Losing pitcher Michael McGreevy, who drops to 2-2. Time of game 2 hours and 50 minutes in the crowd at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, 26,080. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 6:40. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Bobby Sharton, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long from inside our San Diego studios. Again, the final score today, the San Diego Padres 9 and the St. Louis Cardinals 2. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Petco Park right here on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great rest of your Sunday.